Aquaman is without a doubt one of, if not the most hated and disrespected major Justice League member in the eyes of the general public. Despite being a literal founding member of the Justice League, being a part of the OG 7 members, for the longest time he's been the laughingstock of superheroes. This is mainly in part due to the general audience's exposure to the character, whether it be in Super Friends or seeing the character made fun of in comedic shows like Family Guy or Robot Chicken.
You're more useless than Aquaman!
Aquaman, help!
Hey, let her go! You're lucky you're not doing that over here, in the ocean. Oh, you're in for it now, buddy. I got like 5 fish coming to help.
Anyone hungry?
The Johnsons! Oh no! Do you think I've never seen a puddle before? Ow! Ow! My tailbone!
Now these are just lighthearted, harmless jokes, and most comic fans would probably find them funny, but the main issue is that this is unironically how the general public thinks of Aquaman as a character. They genuinely believed for the longest time he was just useless fodder with nothing of value. Thus, in turn, you have a lot of misconceptions that became more common amongst average folk. The biggest misconception on Aquaman is definitely his connection to other sea creatures or how he communicates with them.
Do you talk to fish? The water does the talking.
The way his powers work is that he's able to telepathically connect with any aquatic creature, being able to manipulate the base impulses and commands of said creature. Basically, he can send mental signals for sea creatures to do his bidding to an extent, but it's not like he can have a one-on-one conversation with a shark or something, or talk to a lobster to see how their day has been. This reminds me of the first issue in the New 52 Aquaman series where he goes to this seafood restaurant where the other customers there talking about some, oh my god, I feel so guilty since Aquaman just came in, and everybody at the restaurant is just flabbergasted when Aquaman orders some fish and chips. They're like, hey bro, don't you talk to fish? And he just straight up tells them he doesn't talk to fish. Then he further explains the point I brought up earlier with how fish don't talk, or how he can telepathically command other creatures like dolphins. Jeff Johns' run on Aquaman during the New 52 I think does a good job in showcasing the interesting mythos surrounding Aquaman, as well as challenging the negative stigma around him being a joke character or being a laughingstock. With the new Dawn of DC comic launch last year, I'm kind of surprised they never made an Aquaman solo title, considering they had made ones for characters like Hawkgirl, Cyborg, Green Arrow, Shazam, and a bunch of other characters. I've never really thought too much about any potential cult-like following for Aquaman when compared to other heroes. Regardless of how much more or less recognizable some comic characters are in comparison to others, many of them will always have stans or a really devoted fan base. Whether it would be Wonder Woman fans striving for more push for the character, you got your Flash fans, Green Lantern fans, Red Hood fans, Twitter stan accounts, subreddits, and everything. But honestly, tell me, when was the last time you've seen an Aquaman stan account or a single individual online say their favorite Justice League member is Aquaman? I'm not downplaying or discrediting the character or anything. I'm just pointing out that even amongst comic fans or those familiar with these characters, Arthur Curry is never really in anyone's top 5. It's pretty much common knowledge on who some of the more favorable Justice League members are. Hey yo, Batman fans, let's make some noise. All them Superman fanboys, let's make some freaking noise. For all my Aquaman fans out there, let's make some mother freaking noise. But honestly, I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing, so long as the character is at least respected and exposed to the public eye in a meaningful way. Despite the universe's many shortcomings, never in a million years would I think a solo Aquaman movie would be the DCEU's most successful film in their entire slate of projects. If you would have told me about a decade ago that the only movie in an interconnected live-action DC universe to break $1 billion in the worldwide box office wouldn't be Superman, Batman, or the Justice League, but instead it's Aquaman?
You're out of your goddamn mind.
Say what you want about the movie, whether you love it or hate it, but the first Aquaman movie is visually stunning. It has one of, if not some of the best live-action comic book suits ever put to screen. The epitome of superhero suits being comic book accurate and sexy at the same time.
Lord have mercy, I'm about to bust.
One of the only few strengths of the DCEU were the costumes themselves. Whoever was designing those suits for Aquaman and the Black Adam cast were putting in that work. They were in their bag for real.
Boy!
He got that shit on though.
I was genuinely shocked with how they depicted Black Manta's suit in the film, and they somehow made it even more stunning and comic accurate in Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. I also appreciate how much they maintained Black Manta's biggest hater type energy. Bro wanted all the smoke through and through. One of the top haters in comics, you gotta respect it. Some of the other little design choices I liked were how you can see some expressions on Ocean Master's helmet, which is another design they cooked within this film. Hey Marvel, take some notes and stop with this muted color over design crap. Comic accurate suits can look good on screen. You just need some of the right materials. As much fun as the first film was, the sequel Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom was a load of. At that point during the film's release, not a single soul cared about the DC movies coming out at the time, since it had been almost a whole year since James Gunn announced his reboot plans. Not to mention this movie was going through hella reshoots and poor test screening performances, with the constant reshuffling and plans shifting at WB. Scenes cut with Michael Keaton as Bruce Wayne, then some cut with Ben Affleck set to appear, which makes sense as to why they had to cut that out entirely since neither actor would return in the DCU. These two clips are unironically the last scenes in the entirety of the DCEU.
I am Aquaman.
That shit stank, don't it? Ugh.
I'm pretty sure this was confirmed, but if it were up to me, I wouldn't have Jason Momoa return as Aquaman in James Gunn's DCU in any way, shape, or form. I have nothing against him as Aquaman. I think he was one of the standouts of the DCEU, and I really enjoyed his take as the character. I'm just saying, if Batman and Superman are coming in with fresh new faces, then everybody's gotta go. Also, he'd make a much better Lobo than Aquaman anyway. I think that's something everyone can agree on. With the Aquaman disrespect that is just way too common nowadays, there comes a lot of people, and even certain adaptations, that just severely downplay how powerful Aquaman really is. The Injustice universe power scaling is just complete lunacy since it's a fighting game and any sense of logic is thrown out of the window. I mean, you got Batman being able to take on Black Adam and Wonder Woman in a one-on-one fight with no enhancements, or one of those super pills that were established in the universe, or when Deadshot somehow was able to tag the Flash while he was running at super speed, despite the fact that Floyd Lawton isn't a speedster.
Nice aim, Deadshot.
Just get the job done.
It's 90% bullshit, but it's entertaining.
But the biggest problem is how they finessed Aquaman at the end of Injustice 2.
I'm tired of fighting you, Arthur.
Many adaptations really don't show you some of Aquaman's more grand capabilities, especially in the DCAMU. He was the center focus in Justice League Throne of Atlantis, but he literally does nothing of importance afterwards. He's just a background character at that point. All he does is just get folded by Doomsday alongside the rest of the Justice League in the death of Superman. Then he gets hoed more when he just gets absolutely obliterated and killed off in a single frame in Justice League Dark Apocalypse War. Brother didn't even get a chance. Aquaman may not be on the exact same power level as someone like Superman, but he can certainly hold his own against those type of characters. Even without being in the water, his natural durability allows him to be bulletproof and impenetrable to all kinds of damage.
Have we got a line in yet? I need it stat.
Negative. His skin's tougher than a rhino's.
He can lift large objects like whole buildings and ships with ease, and when he's in the water, you might as well not even try to trifle with bro. Aquaman has been getting disrespected for literal decades. Bro cannot catch a break.
What more do you want from me?
Before the DCEU existed, any amount of respect given to the character was pretty much non-existent from the common person. To be honest, you can't really blame someone if their only exposure to Aquaman was via a couple games here and there and some shows who've made him a laughingstock. DC has a really big problem in not emphasizing some of their other heavy hitters who aren't Batman, therefore you have misconceptions about said characters that spread like wildfire since they aren't given the treatment in other media that they deserve. I think in the future they should just take another shot in adapting the founding members of the Justice League with Aquaman as a main player, because he is for real one of the most slept on characters in DC.